the joy, the elation of setting up a new rifle or scope. All of the potential. For those fleeting moments when you set up your bowling tool for the first time, the possibilities are seemingly endless and unencumbered by the reality of physics. This could be the setup that bags an elk with enough meat to stock the freezer for a year. Or this could be the rifle that when the commies parachute onto the football fields outside your local high school, that you grab and run to the hills with. The possibilities are endless, and so are the small errors a bowler can make while setting up a rifle. Here's how Walter likes to set up a rifle and figure out his homework. The first order of business is making sure your optic sits level in your scope rings. Without this, when you dial or hold, your impacts will be left to right. There are many ways to skin this cat, but Dr. Jones likes to use a flashlight, a laser level, and a Badger Ordnance dead level device. And, well, Walter thinks it's a pretty damn good way to go. Once the scope is level in the rings, Walter likes to throw on a bubble level on the scope before torquing the optic mount to spec on your rail. Walter likes to use 20 MOA rails or mounts whenever possible. This gives your optics more use of your dialing range. Oh, and one more trick. Make sure to press your mount forward against the recoil lugs. With bowling setups, all you can really do is remove variables so that the bowler, the largest variable of all, can make strikes or throw gutters. Walter is a stubborn man. You might be surprised to hear that, but it's true. Most of these lessons he learned from frustrating range sessions spent cursing the very dirt he laid in. And cursing that woman in Bangkok that made off with his passport on R&R, well, you get the picture. Back to the task at hand. Walter likes to take a redneck approach to zeroing and likes to shoot dirt and rocks until he's pretty close, then switch to paper. Throughout this process, he likes to run a chronograph, either a Garmin or a true ballistic chronograph from Utah Air Guns. The Garmin is much smaller, but with the true ballistics unit, a bowler can get real-time data on their BCs. Most bowlers typically only shoot 5 to 10 rounds through their chronograph, but Walter likes to stack at least a box of ammo to get accurate velocity data. With a good zero and some good data on velocity and ballistic coefficient, it's now time to do your homework, or in this case, extra credit. Walter's preferred ballistic calculator is the tried and true Castrol 5700 Elite. The integration of the weather station, as well as the applied ballistics library, in a small, rugged package makes it well worth the price of admission. Sure, there's a learning curve, and the buttons take a bit to figure out. But any chance Walter can get sensitive information off his phone and away from the greedy eyes of tech companies, especially when it comes to documenting the diversity and capabilities of Walter's bowling game, well, he likes to do that, and believes other bowlers should too. The last bit of data that bowlers often overlook when doing their homework is getting a good measurement of their bore height. An incorrect offset will make a bowler think their velocity, or BC, is off at distance, and their holds will be wrong. Walter likes to use a fine Sharpie for filling out his homework. A ballpoint can work, but it will likely just rub off. Depending on his bowling setup, Walter likes to have a good estimation of trajectory out to where his bullet drops below the 1,175 feet per second range. Many learned bowlers have debated this, but from Walter's experience, it's at this velocity threshold that consistency breaks down and a small variation of speed, say 20 to 30 feet per second, can account for misses even at, say, 700 yards. Remember, a bowling rifle without homework is only really effective at the range you zero it at. And an unzeroed bowling rifle is worse than having no rifle at all. If you will it, it is no dream.